Merry Christmas, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of From the Bench to the Mic. I'm your host, Jonathan Holmes. This is episode 15 of Lord knows how many. Gonna keep this sucker rolling until the wheels fall off. But yes, thank you again for choosing to spend some time with me on your Christmas Eve or Christmas Day or whenever you're tuning into it. One, just want to say again, thank you. Two, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I'm still in the process of getting this content on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Got it out on YouTube, of course. That's our main channel stream. But again, I really appreciate it if you hit a subscribe and we get a like, get a few comments, get interactive in the chat there. That would be a lot of fun. So again, thank you for tuning in. We've got a lot to cover, talking through this past weekend's matchups. There were some awesome ones across the board, some really great games. And then leading into conference play, I want to give you guys my conference champion predictions. Now that we've got a small sample size of every team across the board, seeing a lot of teams from a lot of different conferences and some surprise teams, some maybe that are surprising as in they're doing very well and overachieving, and a couple that are maybe underachieving. But want to give you guys my conference champion predictions. So we'll go through that at the end of the show. We're going to talk through, of course, Saturdays. This past Saturday's ball games, just some great ones again, some upsets that I didn't think were coming, which I was completely wrong about on my last episode. So if you're wanting to see my predictions from that Saturday, go back and check it out. But I was completely wrong on a lot of these ball games. So I gotta own it. That's what you get when you're doing something like this. You gotta take it on the chin and move on. But it is what it is. There were some great games there. Kentucky got a great win. Purdue is rolling. Vandy, Nebraska continuing to dominate. And then I want to talk through top 25 with y'all and give you my thoughts on there and some teams that I'm really buying in on and some teams that I'm maybe not so sure on just yet. So without further ado, baby, let's rock and roll.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Boys. Yeah.
All right. Our first game to talk through. Texas Tech takes down Duke 81-80. Now, if you know me at all, huge Duke Blue Devil fan. This one was shocking to me. JT Toppin and Christian Anderson for the Red Raiders just balled out for Texas Tech. Duke didn't seem to have an answer for them. Cam Boozer showed up, 23 with 23 points, 8 rebounds, 7 dimes, flirting with the triple-double. He was really, him and Caden Boozer were the only two that really showed up for Duke. But going into Texas Tech first, Christian Anderson, Texas, and JT Toppin combined for, 46 points, 46 of the 82. Christian Anderson had 5 dimes. Caleb Foster, this was one of my matchups within the matchup, and Caleb Foster just couldn't keep up. I had high hopes for C. Fost, but doesn't look like it's really panning out from a defensive standpoint. Now, offensively, he's gotten a lot better, but defensively, going up against these elite guards, just can't seem to get it done. Jeremy Fears didn't have a great shooting night against Duke earlier in the season, but he still had, he had 10 plus assists. I believe he had ended up with 13 assists. So guards are still able to make an impact with Caleb Foster guarding him. Christian Anderson, 27 points, 5 dimes, just completely overpowered him. And Christian Anderson's really coming onto the scene for Texas Tech. Averaging 20 points per game. He's got 7 assists a game, which is 3rd in the country, or 4th in the country, I believe now, behind Braden Smith, Jeremy Fears, and another guard from a mid-major. But I talked about it on my last show against when Texas Tech lost to Arkansas. And they only played 6 guys, didn't have a ton of depth. And that was what I said was the key to the game, was finding the key to this game was finding some guys to come off the bench and be impactful, also finding a third scorer. Lawan Watts finally steps up to the plate and says, enough's enough. Christian Anderson, JT Toppin, you guys have carried the load for us so far. let me get involved. And he did. 20 points against Duke on Saturday night. Huge for the Red Raiders. They something that they absolutely needed. Duke didn't have an answer for. And yeah, it was enough to get Texas Tech over the top and to be able to pick up a huge signature win before they jump into Big 12 play, because we all know Big 12 play is going to be a gauntlet for Texas Tech and all the Big 12 teams. You get BYU, Arizona State's no scrubs, Kansas, of course Texas Tech in there. I mean, there's a ton of teams that are going to be making. UCF is 11-1. I mean, there's a lot of talent that's in the Big 12, and Texas Tech getting this confidence boosting win before jumping into it was gigantic for me. I'm in love. I love Christian Anderson. I love JT Toppin. JT Toppin definitely he's got Player of the Year candidacy, Player of the Year type numbers going on right now. I mean, there's just a ton of talent across the entire college basketball field, especially from a freshman level. But he's got player of the year capabilities. Christian Anderson seems to be wanting to become a first team All Big 12. I don't know if he gets to an All American type status, but he can get to a first, second team All Big 12 with the type of play that he's been having. But all that said and done, Texas Tech, yes, got the win, played really well. But Duke, on the other hand, let's look at it from a Duke perspective. Up 46-36 at halftime. You're up 10. And that's unlike Duke to let a lead slip like that. So they just completely let off the gas in the second half. Just stop being aggressive, stop attacking. Isaiah Evans was a complete no-show. Pat Ngamba, no-show as well at 4 points. He only had one field goal attempt. He made it 2 for 5 from the free throw line. Only had 4 rebounds. Non-factor. Isaiah Evans 1 for 4 from the field. 0 for 2 from 3. 5 rebounds. Just nothing going. I mean, you had Caden Boozer, who had 36 of the 81, and nobody else was in double digits. That's gonna be a problem for Duke. Now, if you can't get Isaiah Evans or Kamina or Malik Brown, Dame Sarr, those type of players, Darren Harris off the bench, the Duke might be in some trouble, man. The ACC is really no joke this year. Yeah, Clemson's solid. I think Wake Forest is solid, even though they got blown out by Vandy this weekend. North Carolina's back. Louisville. NC State has a great coach. There's some teams that can really sneak up and get you in the ACC, and if Duke is going to be taking their foot off the gas here, I don't know. It could be a little bit longer of an ACC season for Duke, not necessarily as dominant as it has been in year past, but I think this could be a great learning lesson before they get into conference play, understanding, hey, there's no lead is safe in this day and age of college basketball. Teams can just score in bunches, score in huge plethoras. It's incredible how high level the offense is across basketball. You look at NBA down to college, down to high school. Guys are getting better, man, and the game is forever evolving, and it's right now it's the best it's ever been from an offensive standpoint. So Duke, I think this is a great learning lesson for them. Isaiah Evans was not involved. You got to continue to get him involved. You can't let your foot off the gas. You've got to continue to just impose your will on these great teams. And you're going to go up against, give me 3 of them in the ACC. And then when you get to the tournament, who knows? I mean, everybody's good when you get there. So that being said, Duke, they got comfortable. I think this is a great learning lesson for Shire and his team. They're going to bounce back strong from this. They've got a ton of talent. Shire is not going to let this roll. So I think this was a good loss for Duke going into conference play, even though they should have won. You look at the box score, and everything about that says that they should have won. They shot 52% from the field. They shot 37% from the free throw line, which isn't great. Or I'm sorry, from the three-point line, which is okay. You made 3 more threes than Texas Tech. You made 6 more free throws. You essentially washed in rebounds. You had more assists. You tied on turnovers. It's just, Texas Tech had 7 blocks, but, I'm sorry, they had 7 steals. Duke actually beat them in steals. So everything about that says that you should have won the ball game. You had 8 less fouls, but whatever. I can continue to go on and on. But Duke going forward, I think this is going to get them prepped up for ACC play, and they're going to continue to roll. So watch out for Duke as they bounce back from this Texas Tech loss. And Texas Tech's good, man. They played a gauntlet of a schedule. They had some very, very tough losses. But also, shout out to the girl for the merchandise. Bench to the Mic mug, baby. Check it. See if you can see that. I don't know if you can or not. May have some merch coming soon. We get to 100 followers. I'm looking to do a giveaway of some sort. So yeah, stay tuned. This is another reason why you should share with your friends, share with your family. But Texas Tech 82, Duke 81, a final. Again, great win for Texas Tech, not a great loss for Duke. So yeah, we'll wrap it up with that segment there. We'll move on to another great game. Houston, Arkansas. 94-85, the Cougars take down the Razorbacks. Houston's defense is just so strong. Top 5 in the country in points per game allowed. I think they're averaging 60, I believe, 60 on the dot. This was going to be the story of the night. Is Houston's defense going to be too strong for Arkansas's potent offense? What can be potent at times, and it clearly showed. Yes, Arkansas only lost by 9, but Houston was up by as many as 20 in this game. Cal even said it after the game. He's like, "We've had close losses this year. This is the only one that I didn't really feel like we had a chance in," which I totally agree with him. Just watching bits and pieces of it, flipping between other games and family activities, of course. Houston was just too strong. Imposed their will, did what they wanted to do, got what they wanted to get. Kingston Flemings had 21-6. He was completely unbothered by Arkansas's defense. Emmanuel Sharp with 22. But Darius Acuff, a really bright spot coming for Arkansas. Darius Acuff, again, NBA ready. I saw a mock draft of from some NBA expert or whatever, got Darius Acuff at 29. That dude needs to be about 15 spots higher. Sitting maybe top 15, should be a lottery pick. He's NBA ready right now. He went up against a fearless defense, ferocious defense, had 27 points, 7 assists, completely controlled the game for Arkansas. He was the only one that really didn't look bothered by Houston. And he's your main ball handler. That's what you love to see when you get down to these nitty-gritty moments in these games of you're going to be going up against some phenomenal defense, especially in a tournament where teams aren't going to be maybe making shots. You got to have a guy that can control the game for you and go get you a bucket, be able to not turn the ball over. And that's exactly what Darius Acuff did. It was phenomenal to watch. And I'm just mesmerized day after day, game after game by this kid, man. I mean, he's NBA ready in my opinion. But experts say he's too small. I don't believe in that stuff. But Darius Acuff, a bright spot for Arkansas. Same thing with Malik Ewin. He's been playing great basketball as of late. 20 points, 9 boards. I'm still confused on why Nick Pringle continues to start. I expect that to probably change when we get to conference play. Malik Ewin has totally deserved to be that starting 5 for Arkansas. He wasn't bothered by the size of Houston and the way that they're able to get after you at the post. But Carter Knox, Trevor Brazile, complete no-shows. Very disappointed in them in this game. I thought for Arkansas to be elite and get to a Final Four, those two dudes need to be showing up in these big games. And it gets me a little worried that they decided to shy away and not want to show up in a big game, in a big-time spotlight like this. They did really well against Texas Tech, but I think Houston, another team in the Big 12, is kind of that next step of, all right, hey, Texas Tech's probably like a Sweet 16 team right now. If you want to get to a Final Four, you've got to show up against Houston. You got to show up and play well. And Carter Knox, TB, just complete no-shows. It is what it is. They hopefully learn from it, hopefully understand, hey, I have got to continue to be aggressive and go get buckets, make stops for my team, all the things for my team to be elite and possibly get to a national championship and possibly win the SEC. I think the SEC is completely wide open right now. And Arkansas has a very, very great chance. Their roster structure and their talent just so great. And I think with to win the SEC, those two dudes need to be at the top of their game. Blake Thomas was okay. He comes off the bench. He can score in bunches. I'm not really worried about him being a freshman, but these two veteran guys, I was a little worried that I'm a little worried about them not showing up in big games like this. So, not really sure what was going on there. Let's take a quick break here. I'll dive into St. John's, Kentucky, talk through the CBS Sports Classic and Carolina, Ohio State. We'll talk through those. Purdue, Auburn coming up, and then the Sunday slate, and then go into Illinois, Mizzou. So we'll be right back after this. That last segment brought to you by 57 Sports Cards. Go give him a follow on Instagram. It's my buddy Augro57 from back in the day. Still super close to this day. He's got an excellent selection of cards. NFL, MLB, a lot of NBA. I've got his link into his Whatnot shop in the description. So give that a click. Get a free $15. Go check out what he's got. He does a lot of openings. He trades in person. He's at a lot of card shows. So if you're ever in St. Louis and get a chance to see his stand, he's a very personable guy. One of my best friends from my childhood. And can't speak highly enough of the guy. He's got a lot of great things going. And I wouldn't be wanting to bring him on here if I didn't think that he'd be doing a good job. So go ahead and click the link in the description and give him a follow on Instagram. I'll drop his Instagram handle right here. Really would appreciate it. And on to the rest of Saturday's slate. All right, and we're back. Talk through Kentucky St. John's, baby. The Johnnies going up against the Wildcats. Kentucky 78, St. John's 66. Huge win for Mark Pope and the Wildcats. I said it earlier, a few episodes ago, and the last episode. Kentucky needs to beat Indiana, beat St. John's, and then they're going to get rolling into SEC play. This team scares me. It scares me a lot. They're flying under the radar now. They got another top 25. I got a top 25 win finally. I think they're 1-4 against the top 25, if I'm not mistaken. You get Jaden Quaintance back. He comes off and he's just a beast. NBA body, NBA ready. He had 10 points, 8 boards, 17 minutes. That's an efficient group. Otiga Owe decided to show up big in a big game. 20 points, 5 boards. Mark Pope, I told you, man, this team is going to be, when they get healthy, they're still missing, Jaden Lowe is still, I don't think, all the way back. Jasper Johnson, I don't think, is all the way back. When this team gets healthy, man, they are going to be terrifying for the SEC and come March. Because this team can score. They can score. They scored 53 in the second half against St. John's. And St. John's is supposed to have its pride on defense. It's supposed to hang its hat on D. Clearly not the case with Kentucky scoring half a hundo on them. In the second half, it ended up with 78, which is great. But St. John's up 7 at half, ended up just seeing that lead slip away. Jaden Quaintance was a huge part of that, just being a complete beast and imposing his will on Ejiofor and St. John's defense. So this was a huge win for Kentucky going into conference play, because we all know the SEC, it's wide open, man. Florida's good, Vandy's good, Arkansas, Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama. I don't think Auburn's as good as they are advertised. LSU looks decent this year. You got Texas, OU, and the rest of the team's kind of at the bottom there. But Jaden Quaintance, know the name. He's back. He's here, ready to roll. Mark Pope's an excellent coach, in my opinion. He's going to have Kentucky ready to roll for March and throughout conference play. So keep an eye on Kentucky, as they had a really slow start to the season. Again, super banged up, but they're getting healthy, getting back. Really excited to see where Big Blue Nation, where they end up. St. John's, on the other hand, this is a tough loss for you, man. Tough loss for the Johnnies. 7-4, probably the most Kentucky's right there, but probably one of the most disappointing starts of the season. After being in the top 5, you lose to Bama on a heartbreaker. You're still 0-4 against the top 25. I think they're 0-4 or 0-5 now. Patino, I think he's got too much talent on his hands. Again, I said it in my last video. He's got a ton of talent, most he's probably ever had, with Bryce Hopkins, Ejiofor, Ian Jackson, Ruben Prey. I mean, you've got some dude, Dylan Mitchell, who star from Cincinnati. You got a lot of talent, and I think he's got too much talent that he knows what to do with. He's a New York guy, of course. City slicker. He likes guys that just want to grind it out, guys that he can find their diamond in the rough. And I don't think he's just not getting this group together. So will they get it turned around before Big East play? I don't know. It's gonna be tough to do it in Big East play. Seton Hall's good, Villanova's good. Of course, you got UConn. It's gonna be tough for them to get out of this. So we'll see what ends up happening. But St. John's, very disappointing start to the season. Big East play coming up. We'll see if they get rocking and rolling, get this ship turned around before March. Dude, I'd like to see the Johnnies in March, man. It's cool seeing Patino get after it with these other coaches. It'd be a bummer if they were able to miss the tournament. So Kentucky 78, St. John's 66. Welcome back, Mark Pope and the Kentucky Wildcats. I'm sure you'll be in the top 25. If you're not, I don't believe you are this week. You will be next week if you continue to pick up these wins. All right, the other CBS Sports Classic. Whoa. Carolina sneaks by Ohio State. I thought this was going to be a blowout here. Caleb Wilson with 20 points, 20 points and 15 rebounds. Carolina ends up winning 71-70. I thought this was going to be a blowout. Ohio State didn't have anything that really stuck out to me. Bruce Thornton averages about 21 a game. He wasn't really even the story for Ohio State. It was more Ohio State's defense getting after Carolina. I mean, they couldn't stop. They didn't have any answer for Caleb Wilson, of course. Henry Visar had 17 points, 10 boards. Another strong performance by him. Seth Trimble, welcome back, brother. 17 points in his debut back from his wrist injury. But you hold Carolina to 8 of 27 from the three-point line. Ohio State, their offense again wasn't crazy great. They only shot 4 of 20 from the three. It was 16 of 19 from the free throw line. Only had 6 turnovers, which is really solid. But yeah, Bruce Thornton with 16. Devin Royal had 18. You had 5 guys in double digits for Ohio State, but you didn't have any points off the bench, which was probably the difference in the game here. Carolina, they're back. They're ready to roll. They won a grinded out game. Finally, haven't really had one of those this year. They beat Kansas early in the year, but you were at home. I don't really count that as a grinded out kind of game with so much talent that's on the floor. But when a grinded out game to me is when a team inferior to you steps up their game, or you step down your game. You hate doing that. I hate saying that, but teams do it. It's a natural way. Teams just very rarely do you see a team go throughout the entire season without playing down to their competition at least once. And that's what this game was. Ohio State just they made it a grinded out game, and Carolina was able to come out on top, and that says a lot about Carolina's character and the way Hubert Davis has these boys playing. Caleb Wilson is a freak of nature. He's awesome. I think he's a first-team All-American kind of guy. Definitely has a chance to compete with Cam Boozer for ACC Player of the Year and Freshman of the Year, of course. So whoever ends up winning out of those two could very easily be the number 1 pick in the NBA draft next year. DeBonzo with a triple-double, just phenomenal. But Caleb Wilson, Cam Boozer, they're right there with the best of them. So Carolina 71, Ohio State 70. Great win for Carolina, getting this grinded out game. Hubert Davis, this would have been a game, if they were to lose, it would have came down to the coaching, and he was able to step it up and get it done for the Tar Heels. So as a Duke guy, you hate seeing Carolina win, but it's great for the rivalry. I can't wait for Duke Carolina, their first matchup coming up in a few weeks. Very excited for that. All right, next on the list, Purdue destroys Auburn 88-60. Again, I think this goes back to Auburn not being as good as advertised, in my opinion. Todd Pettiford, I believe he is going to be transferred next year. Stephen Pearl taking over the reins from his father Bruce. Just doesn't seem to be working right now. Auburn's got a lot of talents, but I don't think that they're necessarily ready to compete in the Elite Eight, the Sweet 16. They're probably going to be a first, second weekend kind of deal in the tournament, but Purdue blasts at Auburn 88-60. Braden Smith looks like player of the year. He's coming alive. Now, he's had a couple games where he struggled, but he's just a maestro with the ball. He controls the game. Everything goes through him. Trey Kaufman-Renn, he's an absolute stud. So Purdue, this was a great statement win. Let them know, hey, we're still here on the map, man. We're still here. I know we slipped up once, but we're ready to rock, ready to dance. So Matt Painter, Braden Smith, Trey Kaufman-Renn, the dynamic, the terrific triplets, we'll call them the terrific triplets. They've got Purdue heading in the right direction going before conference play. All right, 2 Sunday games that sold me on these teams. There's some teams that I had some questions about, understanding, hey, maybe they haven't played necessarily the greatest schedule just yet, but they've been blowing teams out and playing really well. So, Vandy nukes Wake Forest, destroys them. 98-67. Vandy continues to have their high potent offense. Tyler Nickel with 26 points. Vandy is here and they're here to stay. I never thought I'd ever say that with the Commodores. I thought Jerry Stackhouse was going to be the answer. He clearly wasn't. You move him out. You have the triple Tylers just continue to ball out for the Commodores. This would have been a game I picked Wake Forest to keep close. Didn't think that they were going to win, but they walked into Winston-Salem, North Carolina, imposed their will, and then they left. So big shout out to the Vandy boys for getting it done and selling me. I'm all in with the Commodores. I think they are going to be a force to reckon with in the tournament and throughout the SEC tournament or SEC play. So Vandy, great job. Love seeing you guys play. I'm going to be following you guys a little bit more each week, and just continuing to understand your guys' offense, continue to understand your team, and rocking and rolling from there. Another team, Nebraska. Nebraska stays undefeated. They went 78-55 against North Dakota. Another team, Fred Hoiberg's got these boys hooping. Beat Illinois on the road at the State Farm Center. Nebraska, the Cornhuskers, man, they're here to stay. They're here to compete in the Big Ten. I don't know if they're necessarily on the level of Michigan, Purdue, Michigan State. I think it's those three, and then you have Illinois, Iowa, Nebraska, kind of that second tier right there. And then you kind of got UCLA might be in there. I think UCLA needs to be playing a little bit better ball to get included in that tier 2. Donovan Dent, again, I picked him to be Big Ten Player of the Year. I'm sticking with it. I hate that I'm doing this, but I got to stick to my guns. But Nebraska, a huge win over North Dakota, 78-55. I'm sold on both these teams, Vanderbilt and Nebraska. Never thought I'd ever say that, but I'm all in on the Cornhuskers and Commodores. Okay, now, the game that I got to see live, Illinois versus Mizzou. Illinois just completely beat the brakes off Mizzou here. 91-48, complete dismantling of the Tigers. Keaton Wagler with 22, star freshman out of Kansas. Illinois shot 15 of 33 from the 3-ball, and Mizzou has absolutely nobody. From an offensive standpoint, they had nobody. Defensively, they couldn't stop a runny nose. Tried to play zone. Dennis Gates, I don't really know what you're doing from a personnel standpoint. You're subbing in 5 guys, subbing out 5 guys. I understand you have injuries right now, but I don't know what's going on with Mizzou. I think they're going to finish bottom 3 of the SEC. It's just a poverty program, in my opinion. I love what Illinois is doing. Underwood, he gets great ball movement out of his guys. Stojakovic is the real deal. Mirkovic, Tommy Avicic, Big Z, Zvonimir Avicic, the international Illini, man. I think that Nebraska game really woke them up. Now, Mizzou's not great. No, not by any means. But you go out and you impose your will like that, that's a sign of a great team bouncing back after a tough loss. So shout out to Illinois for getting the largest margin of victory in the bragging rights game. This was the best performance I've seen from an Illinois team live or even on TV. Again, Keaton Wagler, another freshman, and these freshmen are just so dang good, man. He's a 3-star out of the state of Kansas, won Kansas Player of the Year. Comes in and he's just making the game look easy. Mizzou didn't make it uncomfortable whatsoever for the boy. He looks just so young. He looks so young out there, but comfortable, young but comfortable. He was hooping, stepping threes, unguarded. Mizzou, they've got a lot. They got to get back to the drawing board. They got a lot to figure out. They have, for some reason, a really good recruiting class coming in. I've never understood that. I don't think Dennis Gates is as great of a coach as what he was in year one. Kind of walked into that program with already a really older roster, really solid roster, and it hasn't really worked for him since then. So wouldn't be surprised if Mizzou looks a different direction after this season or after next. So Illinois takes care of business. Nebraska, Vandy, Purdue. Let's talk through conference champs. It's tough. There's a lot of great teams out there. But going through my predictions here for conference champs after we've gotten through the non-con, again, greatest non-conference in the history of basketball. Strong statement, but since I've been alive, let's start with the ACC. Now, a lot of folks will be upset with me on this one because I'm 100% biased on this. It's going to be the Duke Blue Devils. Again, I think this Texas Tech loss is really going to propel them going into conference play. I think they're going to understand, hey, we can't keep our foot off the gas. We have got to continue to impose our will. We are going to be the better team night in and night out. And we can't let these teams hang around and or get momentum when they're down. So give me the Duke Blue Devils to take care of business. Now I think they win the regular season and the ACC tournament. These are all just going to be regular season picks because Lord knows what can happen in the tournament. So I'm going Duke for the ACC. Big Ten. I don't think this should be a surprise of anybody. Michigan, the Wolverines, just blasting everybody right now. They just continue to impress me, man. They've got the largest margin of victory. They're 4-0 against quad one teams. They're just continuing to just destroy everyone. They've got McNeese State coming up before they get into conference play, but they really don't get challenged until Nebraska on January 27th. Wisconsin will be a good game, but they don't really have any competition up until then. So Michigan, I expect them to continue to roll. Dusty May, he's probably going to win Coach of the Year. My favorite player on there is Morez Johnson, Illinois dude from Chicago, transferred from Illinois up to Michigan. I love Morez Johnson. I think he's a stud, absolute beast, NBA ready body. Yaxel Landenberg, Elliot Cadeau. Michigan has no holes anywhere. And they've continued to do it night in and night out. So give me the Wolverines. Big 12, Iowa State. I'm going to go the front runner, Iowa State. I'm jumping on the bandwagon here. Maybe some recency bias, but Houston, Kansas, Arizona State. I think, all these. Arizona State's not going to compete for I don't know why I said them, but give me Iowa State. I think their defense is incredible. They held Purdue to I believe what was a season low in the first half when they went to Purdue to play early in the season against another great non-conference matchup. Imposed their will against Purdue, won by 30. So give me Iowa State. Give me the Cyclones. Love them. SEC. As much as I want to pick Arkansas or pick Florida, I'm going with the Alabama Crimson Tide. I think LeBaron Philon, he's my player of the year in the SEC. I still feel confident in that one. He's an NBA-ready dude that can score at will. I love Nate Oates. Aiden Sherrell's awesome. Aiden Holloway, Latrell Wrightsell. Give me the Alabama Crimson Tide and LeBaron Philon there. And then last but certainly not least, the Big East. Got to go UConn here. St. John's would have been my pick at the beginning of the year, but now that we were able to see, of course, both teams, I think UConn nobody's really going to compete with them. They're going to roll. Again, there's some really good teams out of there. You got Seton Hall, Villanova. Creighton's been very disappointing, but they have the capability to scare some people. And then St. John's, I hope they get it turned around because I would love for it to be competitive in the Big East. But I don't see anybody competing with the UConn Huskies from the Big East. Give me them possibly to go undefeated in conference play, and just continue to roll. So, yeah, there's our conference champs. Top 25 reactions. We went through Saturday and Sunday slate. Again, Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Give me a like. Give me a follow on Instagram, Twitter. You can go follow my personal account. That's fine with me. I'm going to start getting a little bit more active on there. And yeah, everybody have an awesome holiday. I'll talk to you guys. Everybody watch some NBA. NBA coming up on Christmas Day. We got some awesome matchups there. Go check those guys out. Watch some hoops. Spend some time with the fam, and yeah, I apologize for the delay of this video. We're gonna get rocking and rolling back when holidays are over. And conference plays here, baby. We're ready to roll. Sooner or later, it's gonna be March. So again, thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah.